Welcome to What You Need to Grow, the podcast where entrepreneurs discover the inspiration and perspective shifts that fuel both personal and business growth. Each week, certified professional coach Jennie Bellinger brings you powerful conversations with thought leaders, subject matter experts, and innovative company leaders who share their stories of growth and the tools that made it possible. From fresh insights that expand your vision to resources you can explore on your own journey, every episode is designed to help you grow your knowledge, grow your vision, and grow your business. Now, here's your host, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome to another episode of What You Need to Grow. I am your host, Jennie Bellinger, and I am here helping you check out the intersection between personal growth and business growth. Because those of us who are in entrepreneurship, business ownership, if you've been in it long enough, you realize that your business is never going to outgrow you. So we are here each and every week having conversations either about personal growth, business growth, and everything in between. So I have here with me today, Jenn Greiner. Now, Jenn is a human design therapist and emotional sovereignty guide who helps ambitious, spiritually aware female leaders reclaim their energy and create aligned, sustainable success. With over a decade of experience in mental health and a deep integration of human design and emotional awareness, Jenn created her business, Divine Vitality. Love that so much. Oh my gosh. Where she specializes in uncovering the hidden patterns that lead to burnout, emotional exhaustion, and misalignment in both business and relationships. And I could continue going on, but I know y'all just want to hear from Jenn. So welcome to the show, Jenn.
Hi, Jennie. I am so excited to be here and to chat with you today.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have such a great conversation because, already in your introduction there, you allude to human design. And I know that this is, even though it's been around for quite a while, there's a lot of people out there who have no idea what it is and how their human design actually influences how they're showing up in the world and what they're doing and why if they're doing something the wrong way and you're the expert. I'm not, but I know just enough to be wildly dangerous.
Yes.
So, what got you started into the world of human design and emotional sovereignty? I love that so much.
Yeah, so back in 2020, right, we were all kind of hitting a turning point in
Yeah.
our lives. My private practice had shifted. I was growing a virtual business that I never intended to do. A prior business that I had started needed to be in person, so that was falling away. So, of course, during that year, a friend kept mentioning it to me. And of course, when we hear things over and over, it's like, I want you to stop talking about this, so I'm going to look into this.
Yeah.
So I pulled my human design, found out that I was a projector. My friend didn't know what that meant. I, of course, didn't know what that meant. So I went home and spent the rest of the day falling down the rabbit hole and being like, what is human design? What does this mean? And it was the biggest permission slip I ever received to be myself. I felt seen in a way that I never had been. And thus began a change in my personal life, a huge shift in my business, and really being able to guide and transform my clients with such ease. And yeah, I will forever use it.
Yeah. No, it's such an interesting tool for people to get an insight into themselves because when I first was introduced to it, I was like, oh, another astrology fan freaking tastic because my background is middle school science teacher. And my friend Sharon ran my chart because she was getting trained on human design. And I found out I'm a manifesting generator. And I was like, great, what does that mean? She goes, I don't know. I'm learning.
Isn't that the best?
Right. So, and over time now, I've had conversations on my other podcast with human design people, but who who are into human design, but this is my first time having someone on the show who is in human design. So I'm really excited to share this with the What You Need to Grow audience, because if they're not into it, then yay, welcome to your introduction. Yay. And if you are into it, great. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. You're going to nerd out like the rest of us. So how is it that human design plays into um, people's businesses? Because, I mean, again, this show is about the intersection between personal and business growth. So our human design is absolutely going to, I'm assuming, influence our business.
Yes, absolutely. And there is a whole other rabbit hole that all the listeners are welcome to dive into about using human design specifically for your business. There's some really
Mm.
cool ways and things that you can do with it. Um, but yeah, I think of it as energetic mechanics. So in our business, we have energetics, right? If you're in a funk and you show up in any way, shape, or form, like chances are that's not going to go well. It's not going to do well. But if you are really honoring who you are stepping into your power, you are showing up ready to go with your gifts, you're shining, you're just glowing, right? That's going to provide so much ROI or success in whatever you're looking for. So it really is the same in our personal lives, but bringing that into business, human design is a tool that can just kind of help guide you to the aligned way that you were really meant to show up, making it so that you're working smarter and not harder.
Yeah. Okay. I, who doesn't want that, right? For sure. I think for me, and very similar to what you said about, you know, finding out what your human design was like the biggest validation ever, right? Because all of a sudden there were things that coaches or other people in business were telling me like, oh, you should go do this. You should be doing this. You should be doing this. And none of there were, obviously if something felt like smart or aligned, I was like, yeah, I'll happily do that. Took me a while to get a podcast going. Fits perfectly with the manifesting generator. For anybody who knows anything about human design, they're like, oh, of course you're a podcaster, right? Um, but there were other things that I had pushed back on doing, and I don't even remember what they are now. But back then, when I found out about the manifesting generator, I was like, oh, that's why I didn't want to do that thing, or whatever, because it wasn't aligned. There was that, and now I had this like permission slip to be like, nope, not aligned, totally cool. Like I didn't have FOMO, and it was so unbelievably freeing to be able to be like, nope, totally cool. you know
Yeah,
so do you,
it can really help us avoid burnout, right? If you're doing the things that like you have to do and bog you down because you think you should, or you're like, I was told that this is how you grow a business, or this is what I need to do in life, like it doesn't work out and things get really hard. So just to take that, well, I won't say take it out, right? Because we can still all burn out in different ways, but to
right.
really learn how to navigate around burnout
Mm.
really spares us all.
Yeah, absolutely. And how have you found that, the human design piece fits into the emotional sovereignty? And well, even before we get into that, what is emotional sovereignty?
Great question.
Yeah.
So I think of emotional sovereignty as honoring your emotions, right? We're human beings. We have so many emotions. Society has not yet honored that how we feel is important. And especially when we look at it through the lens of human design, half of the world is meant to honor and ride their emotions in order to make decisions. So if we're kind of telling half of the world to do the opposite, right, then there's burnout, then there's all that frustration, bitterness, anger, disappointment that comes up. So I like to think of emotional sovereignty as honoring your emotional energetics, to understand how your emotions internally work for you, right, so that you can enjoy your life, and to use externally, right? We're all kind of here for a purpose. So shedding that light. And then the sovereignty piece is really to be grounded in them, to know, honor, trust them, not ignore them, not fight against them, but to be really sovereign in who you are, what you're here to do. And yeah, just be able to have the capacity to hold and express emotions appropriately.
Gotcha. Okay. And so for me, one of the things that I have found is an interesting contradiction in myself and maybe this is more common in other people than I think, but I have always been really good at reading others' emotions. Like I can look at somebody, complete stranger, and get a pretty good idea of how they're feeling based on how they're showing up in the world. Or, with friends, read them very quickly. But when it comes time for Jennie to read Jennie, like, so confused. Right? So how does it, and I have figured out that it's because, obviously I'm reading body language and pitch and pace and volume of voice to figure out other people. For me, I don't have that because I'm having to actually feel in my body and I'm like, I don't know what that feeling is. Like I've never taken the time to do that. So how does that fit in with the emotional sovereignty and the human design piece or manifesting generator, for example?
Yeah, so I trust that all of what you just said is within your human design, that I'd be able to look at your chart and say, oh, that's exactly why she said this, or this is why she is so absorbing of others' emotions and can really see that, right? It's really
Mhm.
all within there. There's so much within our charts. And, really this started back being a therapist. Therapy is about talking about emotions. How am I
Yeah.
feeling? What is this called? What do I do with this? Right?
Okay.
So thinking about that to really honor yourself, that's kind of the where it all starts, right? It's the awareness of what's going on, even
Mhm.
if you don't know what's going on, right? You still have the awareness that something is going on, but I don't have the words, the knowledge, the abilities yet, but I want to. So I love
Okay.
when people are in that place because it is a
Yeah.
great place to start.
Yeah. It sounds a lot to me like the mastery quadrant. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but where you start with like unconscious incompetence. Like you don't know what you don't know. And then you have conscious incompetence. You're like, "Oh, I know I don't know that," right? And then it moves you know what I'm talking about? I feel like that's where I am in the piece is I am in conscious incompetence about my own emotions, right? And but looking to go, okay, I'd like to get up into the next quadrant of conscious competence. That would be fan freaking tastic right about now. Well, or anytime really, let's be honest. So how does one's human design then play into, I mean, I guess for somebody who isn't listening, maybe we should talk about what the different types are because that may help. Because for different design, does that impact their emotional sovereignty piece?
Not not so much the
Okay.
types, but more your authority, which is how you make decisions. So
Okay.
I mentioned before that half of the world has their emotions. They are meant to be guided by their emotions. That is the emotional authority. So
Okay.
the center in human design, the shape, it's a triangle on the bottom right side if you're looking at your human design chart. That is the emotional solar plexus. And that's really where we can look to see if you are half of the world that is an emotional authority that does have that center colored in, defined, meaning you have fixed, reliable energy there. Your emotions work in a way that you cannot change. You have, in some ways, little control over. It's going to happen. So, how can you ride the wave like surfing rather than trying to fight your way back the other way? So that's
Okay.
one quick, easy place to look. If you have your human design chart, you can also easily look. It'll say authority. And if it says emotional there, you're part of that half of the world.
Okay. What's the other half? Or is it split into more than half?
So I call the other half non-emotionals, right? They are
Okay.
not an emotional authority. They do not have a defined solar plexus. That triangle will be white. So they have different authorities, but
Okay.
how that works is they're absorbing emotions. Sometimes that center can also kind of work like a satellite, like you are amplifying people's emotions, you're distorting them, you're absorbing them, and you might even mistake all of that for your own. So that's
Mm.
when it gets really confusing. And then, really, that's a place to start with discernment of, is this my emotions or is it not mine? And how can I let it go?
Oh, okay. See, I think I'm in the non-emotional side. I can't remember what my authority is, but I'm wanting to say maybe starts with an S.
Sacral.
It's like,
Yes.
yes, yeah, that's me. I don't know what that means, but great.
You can start lots of things, do lots of things. Your gut is going to give you all the energy to do them. You work on yes, no in the moment.
Mhm.
So, what you said about emotions makes complete sense. And if there are any other sacral manifesting generators out there, I'm sure they can absolutely relate.
Ah, okay, good. Well, there's a good chance that I probably attract quite a few of those because, you know, we tend to attract that who we are or that who we used to be, right? For sure. So, as people are getting to know these things, what is it that they should be looking for in their human design? What do you find is a first step in them understanding their type, but then also going into like how that fits into their own emotional sovereignty, perhaps?
Yeah. So, once you look at your type, gain a little understanding about it.
Yeah.
What is most important uh, for our conversation, is your signature theme and your not self theme. So those are the same for each type. So as a manifesting generator and any generators out there, your signature theme, and I think of this as like you are in alignment. This is good. This is working. Keep going.
Hmm.
That's satisfaction. And many generators don't allow themselves to really revel in the satisfaction and to know what that really feels like. So that's definitely a starting place for that emotional sovereignty, to honor the satisfaction and know that you are worthy of experiencing that as much as possible. Because the opposite end of that, I think of all this as an energetic spectrum. The opposite is frustration. And I'm sure you know that very well.
Yeah, just a little bit. Let's
So,
just say I've probably lived at least half my life in frustration. Yeah.
not surprised. I hear that from really every generator. So, what that not self theme is it is when you are out of alignment. It is that lower vibration that isn't working, where things are difficult. But to know frustration, I think of it as a red flag, as a blaring siren of pause. You can go about this differently. There is another way. And how can you move towards satisfaction? Because it is possible.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dig in a little bit to the types then, because I think I hinted earlier we should at least go over what they are, so that way anybody who's brand new to this, will have at least heard some of the terminology when they maybe go decide to run their chart. So what are is it five? Did I get that right? Yes. What are the five types?
So we've talked about two of them, the
Mhm.
manifesting generators and the generators. We kind of lump them together because they're both sacrals, have that gut. You're here for yes, no. And both of them have the signature theme of satisfaction and that not self of frustration. So then we have pure manifestors. They are
Mm.
a small percentage of the world, about 8%. They're here to initiate, to start new things. So their spectrum is the signature theme of peace, to really just live in this calm, peaceful way. And the not self is anger. So anger is not something to avoid and say, oh, I shouldn't be feeling that. And I imagine a lot of manifesting generators can relate to that spectrum too. So kind of seeing, maybe peace will be easier to guide you than satisfaction when you're starting out. So really using whatever resonates there.
Yeah. Okay, good. And then, so that's three of the types.
Then we have projectors, which is the type that I am. We're the guides, seers. We're the newer type, usually misunderstood, but we're really here to guide people. Our signature theme is success. We are
Mm.
destined for success, but we really have to define what that means for us, right? Because that societal, stereotypical definition of success is not true for the 20% of us in the world. So it's really kind of pausing to figure out, what does success feel like, mean for you? Because the alternative, the not self for projectors, is bitterness. And I found that really challenging because bitterness is not an emotion that we talk about. That is not something society talks about. But when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's that dark cloud that I just get swept away in, where nothing is going to work, nothing can change my mind. And really, everyone should stay away from a bitter projector.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like yeah, I can see how there are people in the world who, if they did not get that success, and they would have then become that person. It's like, oh, it gets you starting to think about who you know. It's like, oh, they're probably a projector.
Right. Then you can start noticing, right, these emotions in others and do a little bit of self-reflection.
Yeah, exactly. So that's four out of five. What's the last one?
The very last type is the rarest. So only 1% of the world are reflectors. And they're really special because they're really open. They're always sampling and kind of absorbing their environment. So their environment is really important. And their signature theme is surprise and delight. Like, ah, how lovely is that? But their
Aw.
not self theme is disappointment. So they can be really disappointed by things that are happening within their own life. But when a reflector is really in that delight, they are just, we call them the unicorns because they are just so special.
Mm. So, off the top of your head, do you have any celebrity names that would fit some of the human design types so that people can go, oh, yeah, that makes sense? Or, oh, yeah, okay, I better understand maybe who that is.
Yes. And I wish I had something else open to refer to. Um, Okay, so Sandra Bullock,
Hmm.
right? Great actress, right? She can take on any role. She's played many different roles over the years. She's a reflector.
Oh, okay.
So she's open. She can wear all those hats. Taylor Swift, I think everybody kind of knows who she is.
Yep.
She's a projector. She sees that way of doing things differently, right? She was like, I'm not going to be a victim to musical production, so I'm going to do it my own way because I don't want to, give my money away,
Yeah.
right?
And
Uh,
the success.
she's found her success. She is an aligned projector.
Nice. Okay, good.
Then the creator of human design and Gene Keys, they are both manifestors, right? They
Okay.
initiated and started this new thing that was never done before. And then for generators and manifesting generators, I always get them a little mixed up. But within that, we have Kim Kardashian, who started so many things, Beyonce, right? She is doing all the things. Elon Musk is a manifesting generator, right? He
Oh,
started these things and he is still doing them.
Yeah.
So a lot of celebrities are more generators because generators and manifesting generators make up 70% of the world. So there are
Okay.
many that we're familiar with that we kind of say, oh, I need to be like them. I got to go, go, go. But if you're part of the 30% of the world that aren't generators, like you're going to burn out trying to do that. And your emotions are likely going to be all over the place. Your personal life might suffer, your business life
Yeah.
might suffer. And there is another way, I promise.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know, going through and understanding that about yourself, you know, like I said, when I finally read through a report that I got, I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I get it now," you know. Um, so let's see. Ooh. How can someone start to realize that recognize, whatever, that they're out of alignment?
Mm,
Because you talked about, success versus bitterness, surprise and delight versus bitterness, like how can somebody begin to see those pieces?
yeah, so definitely bringing awareness to that not self theme, whether it's frustration, anger, bitterness, disappointment, because anytime that you notice that you are experiencing that emotion, you're out of alignment. Right? You're not following what your energetics are naturally, effortlessly here to guide you into. So if you keep fighting against the grain, not only are you going to be experiencing those emotions more and in bigger amplitude, deeper, right? Bigger emotions. You're probably also going to burn out. You're going to have difficulty with boundaries, right? Relationships might not be going well. Things just feel really like hard. And in human design we can really see like the physiological connections, right? If your throat's fully out of alignment, you're going to have some thyroid issues. If you're denying your emotions and you're absorbing everyone else's, you're probably going to have some autoimmune disorders, maybe even a fibromyalgia diagnosis.
Mm.
So things in the body start to show the symptoms that you're out of alignment.
Oh, so this fits in. I haven't read the book yet, and I don't know if this even fits. If you've read the book, The Body Keeps Score.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bessel
Say that again.
Bessel van der Kolk.
Okay.
I believe I'm saying that right.
Probably. I don't know. I've had so many people around me recommend the book, that I was like, okay, I should probably, like, I think it's sitting in my Amazon cart so I can get to it when I get to it. Um, but I think that's a good way to have an idea is if somebody is feeling dis-ease, right? That
Yeah.
could be a great indicator that there's some misalignment there.
Yeah. And it's helpful to be able to pinpoint it to see exactly where you are out of alignment. So it's not like you're going to the doctor and you're saying, something's not right. I don't know what it is. You're saying, there's something not right about this, and we can see what correlates with it. So when
Right.
people say, I have the fibromyalgia diagnosis, I'm like, okay, what's going on in your emotional world? Are you absorbing your partner's emotions? Are you not kind of releasing your clients after working with them, right? Especially for
Mm,
people who pack back to back clients. Gosh, the therapists who were working 40 hours a week during COVID, I was just like, no, you can't be doing that. There's no time for you. How are you releasing all of that big stuff, right? During that time that's getting stored within you.
right. Right. No, absolutely. And I can even see that, for example, in like even like massage therapists or whatever, because yes, they're in there working on the body, But how many massage therapists are having conversations while they're working on the body? And, especially if they're an energetic massage therapist, I could totally see them like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like absorbing that. And I can see like, oh, that explains the tiredness and burned out if they're not doing what you just talked about, which is releasing between sessions.
Yeah, and there's so many different tools now that people can resonate with to, in human design, we look at it and call it deconditioning, right? I think
Okay.
conditioning is letting go of all that we are not so that we can honor who we are and the gifts that we have.
Yeah.
So picking whatever tool resonates with you. That's why I love when Reiki is paired with things, because in human design, I can see in your blueprint where the energy is stored up. But if you go to a Reiki practitioner and they can unblock that in an easeful session, like, yes, please, I would love that daily.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, 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 exactly. And it's so funny because, again, my skeptical self back in the day was like, Reiki? What is that? Like, mm-hmm. And then here I am, level one certified.
Yes.
You know, I don't do Reiki on other people. It's just for me, but that's really been super helpful to be able to, even at the most base level, be able to at the end of each day. So maybe not between clients, but the end of each day, I'm trying to, okay, let's do a Reiki healing session and just release it all. Go to bed, come at actually be rested the next day because it releases all the things. It's amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. So, I feel like I could talk to you about this forever. We absolutely will have to have you back and continue going deeper with this. But one of the things you've already started talking about, and you kind of alluded to it in some of the answers to some of your questions, is how to reset yourself and how to go through that. And so we're actually going to um, record a training where you're going to go through the 3 steps to actually help do a reset, right? Tell us a little bit about this so that way they can be like, yes, I want to go find that. Where do I find it?
Yeah, so I created my alignment reset, and this is a deconditioning practice that helps you release misalignment, reclaim your energy. And I've simplified this into 3 steps because this is really the basis that I lead all of my clients through. And when you have your human design chart, right, your human design chart is your blueprint. It is the roadmap. It is your energy in essentially 2D, right? Black and white in
Wow.
front of you. There's probably some colors in there.
Yeah.
So, what to do with it, right? Because so many people like you get their human design and they're like, okay, cool, I'm this type, but I don't know what to do with it. It's
Right.
overwhelming. It is a new language. So, I'm going to do nothing. Right?
Yeah.
So, I
Welcome to me, like for like 4.5, 5 years. Yes.
Yeah. So I really wanted to create this to make it super simple so that you can understand what deconditioning is first off. That's really kind of the step one of sitting with it to be like, oh, where am I conditioned? What is that? Right? Then you bring that into your awareness and you're like, oh, I just caught myself saying that thing and that is not me. That is
Yeah.
conditioned in action. So
Yeah.
to really be guided through this framework,
Perfect.
to feel
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
really.
Exactly. And so with this, so I'm speaking to the listener right now or watcher who's maybe watching us, to be able to go to either the What You Need to Grow podcast community on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, totally free. We're going to drop the training in there. But because I also don't have control over whether Facebook's going to keep that video up there or not, blah, 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 you know how that goes. I'm also putting it in the gift vault at What You Need to Grow. So if you want to dig into Jenn's alignment reset 3 steps, we're going to go into a training. It's in the gift vault. So just go to whatyouneedtogrow.com It's right down here below the video, or just go type in what you need to grow. It's spelled exactly the way you think it is. .com, and you'll see the gift vault right there listed at the top, and you can hop in and find Jenn Greiner's alignment reset training. So, Jenn, before we go, the end of the episode here, what is a final thought you want to leave for the What You Need to Grow community here?
That we all have a purpose, that we are here for a reason, to do, to be, to enact, impart, right? So the more that we can find sovereignty within ourselves allows us to move towards that purpose, which really helps the collective, the world. So just know that you have a purpose, and as you align, you are moving towards that.
I love it. I love it. Yes, because I really feel I have stepped into that myself. So I love that people are working towards that, and hopefully getting that from listening to What You Need to Grow and hopping in with the guests like you who make perfect sense to help them in that area of growth that they need help with. So, Jenn, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad our paths crossed at Melanie Benson's event. So appreciative for you being here.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Of course. And of course, What You Need to Grow crew, stay tuned, because you never know what you're going to need to grow.
Thank you for listening to What You Need to Grow. Be sure to follow the show on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss a single episode. Want updates straight to your inbox? Sign up at whatyouneedtogrow.com and you'll get notified each time a new episode goes live. Here's to your growth. This has been What You Need to Grow with Jennie Bellinger.